Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Zami Arif. For the introductions, rainfall has a significant spatial and temporal variability in the tropical area, which is controlled by the topography and climatological conditions in the watershed. The hydrograph theory predicts the quantity of flood discharge planned in the watershed. A hydrograph is a diagram demonstrating the connection between discharge and flood time. Water construction planning, necessary analysis of flood discharge estimation data. These projections should be based on acceptable strategies for producing flood projection and that are consistent with the real conditions. Each watershed has distinct drainage characteristics that are impacted by a variety of factors various aspects including watershed, topography, land use and river type, which is length, number and slope, rainfall height and duration. The main purpose of this review paper is to assess the progress in the development of unit hydrograph techniques in the past and to provide a quick reference guide for researchers exploring new methods that can be used for hydrological prediction in Angosh Basin. Study, the available hydrograph model have been classified into 4 groups, which is traditional, conceptual, probabilistic and geomorphological. The traditional models are based on different empirical equations and have certain region-specific coefficients varying over a wide range, while the conceptual models are based on the continuity equation and linear storage discharge relationship. The probabilistic or the probability distribution function based models is use a parametric approach and employ the density function for synthetic unit hydrograph derivation. Lastly, we have the geomorphological class that use basin geomorphology to develop instantaneous unit hydrograph for flood hydrograph modeling for Angosh basins.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul Karim Muhammad Nur. My matric number is BF32002. Comprehensive review. The proposed barometric estimation model uses the concept of minimizing the sum of the squares of the differences between the observed inflow and calculated inflow, provided that the routine equation is satisfied. The barometric estimation problem is formulated as a constrained linear estimation problem, and computational teams developed that Italy solves common simultaneous equations to identify maximum linear model parameters for the retaining flow. The barometric estimation method attempts to determine the values of k, x, and m that minimize the differences between the observed inflow and the inflow predicted by the model. The basic assumption for applying the maximum model to traditional river management is that the model parameters capture the combined forward flow propagation characteristics of the river section. In an ideal case, with no measurement errors, two sets of parameter values, forward and reverse current conduction, can be converted to one set of parameter values. Assalamu alaikum.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Aiman Hakimi bin Razali at F100147. So this is the case study of extended masking method in Hydrograph Receiver, Mahadan River Basin, India. So for this river, it is 320 km long between the Hydrograph Receiver and Naraj. So this river is treated in the study for the flood routing. The outflow from the receiver is the combination of the spill from the receiver and the release for power. This outflow is measured at the dam. The volume of inflow into the reach is the combination release for power and spill from the receiver and catchment contribution. So they are classified into 2 categories. The first category, both outflow from the receiver and catchment contribution influence the pattern of flow at Naraj, and in second category, only outflow from receiver has the influence. So for the 4 floods number 3 to 6 fall under second category, and remaining 5 floods falls under the first category. This characteristic is done in third column of the table 1. So this is the table 1. So this is the characteristic of flood under the consideration for flood routing. Accordingly, the flood routing equation with these 4 routing period by extended masking method are analyzed in study. Only one output flood flow at the control station Naraj is predicted. The mean relative error is considered sufficient to evaluate the performance of the various model. The extended masking routing method deals with multiple inflow, a single outflow routing process. In the present study, the flood hydrograph at Naraj depend on 2 flood hydrograph on the upstream side of the ridge. For the first one is hydrograph of release for power and spill from the receiver RPS, and for the second one is hydrograph which is catchment contribution DC. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hassan Ali. My metric number is BF19008. In this video, I'll speak about my part in our hydrology project, which is recommendation. Masking gum method is an approximate hydrological method of fluid routing through a reach of river based on the equation of quantity and the storage equation expressing the linear dependence of the water volume in the reach of the weighted inflow and outflow. The masking gum routing unit models the flow of water in open channels based on the quantity equation and the masking gum storage relationship. The masking gum routing unit models the flow of water in natural and man-made open channels using the masking gum method to route the flow. The masking gum routing calculates the discharge within a river or channel reach given the inflow hydrograph at the upstream end. The unit is based on the quantity equation and the masking gum storage relationship McCarthy GT 1938. Cross-section details are not required and only the masking gum parameters K and X are specified. Both parameters are fixed. A minimum of 2 masking gum routing sections are required for each end of the river or channel reach. Intermediate discharge points can be specified by using additional masking gum routing nodes. And thank you.
My name is Muhammad Faiz bin Ali Razuman. For the conclusion is the masking gum stream flow routing equation are satisfied, and parameter estimation model for reverse stream flow routing are developed with the goal of minimizing the normalized differences between observed and predicted inflow. The evaluation test yield parameter values for the 3 types of masking gum channels storage models as well as inflow hydrograph that satisfactorily match the observed inflow, and the classical approach and a new method based on the estimation of the relationship between the travel time parameter K and the discharge were used in this study for the masking gum equation. That's all from us. Thank you.